Uh-huh.
Hello there, and welcome to Purple Figs. My co-host Kim and I are already having a great time. So we're excited for you to join us. Kim, where are we today? What exactly are we looking at here?
We are looking at this gorgeous exhibit by Richard Neal called Submarine. It is absolutely a splendiferous. I can't find a better word for this exhibit. Richard is an incredible artist, and this exhibit just brings together all of what you love about Richard. Mostly big pieces, but some other small pieces. We've had a lot of sales here, so if you're looking for a piece of art, this might be the time to come down. And this is just one of the exhibits that we have here in the gallery.
Absolutely. I can't wait for you folks to see what we have on the second floor. We have a jury show, Red it's called, and it sure is.
Yes, right.
Submarine down here, there's beautiful greens and blues here on the first floor gallery, and then upstairs there's this vibrant punch of red, 100 pieces, all local artists. But today we're here to make some poetry, and I've chosen to start down here. So, Kim, what is it we do here in Purple Figs every week?
So this is a fancy word
Not every
called...
week, we don't have that much time.
Yeah.
Every exhibit, though.
I'm not laughing anymore. It's a fancy word called ekphrasis, from the Greek, for words out of, and it's really just a fancy way of saying poetry inspired by art. And since we love to be inspired, and we always are, we select a piece of artwork, we write a poem, and then we present it to you, and we talk about why we picked that piece, what we love about it, etc., hoping to honor the artist and keep the conversation going.
Absolutely. It's so fun to be able to be in a place that takes so much inspiration. We always hope you too will come and find some inspiration as well. Give a little backstory for me personally for this exhibit. This went up the week of my wedding, which was here at Cotuit Center for the Arts.
And there's a husband in the house.
Mm-hmm. One more husband on Purple Figs. And Richard, phenomenal artist, conscious that there was going to be a wedding, wanted to hopefully create something that we would like as a backdrop. And he brought in this work and was like, is this going to be okay? And I looked at this piece behind me and I said, oh yeah, this will do.
More than okay.
This will be just fine. And indeed, this is the piece that I have created a poem in response to. So,
are you ready?
Yeah,
take it away.
Absolutely. Okay. This is Ghazal of New Genesis. Oh, hail, font of life. Hail, beginning of the world we know. Hail, drowned summit, peak of the world. Hail, great failure. Hail, sign of tomorrow. Is it true you could once see all the earth before you in deluge splendor? What led from that moment to your rest here at the end of the undertow? Is that why all those cubits of gopher wood are now covered in denim and canvas? Do you hide out of shame or fear for what you have wrought here below? Down here, the weight of life is nigh unbearable. A single pink spot hovers defiantly at eye level, as if to say, I am. Hello. I can't even recognize your form anymore, nor your composition. I only found you by following old patterns from stories forgotten long ago. And now no single piece of you can answer for the whole. I apprehend your grandeur through my inability to take a single representative photo. I cannot be the first to make this pilgrimage, though my faith is beyond compare. Did the others think they would find something more than this sodden tableau? I suffer no delusions. I know your final resting place is nothing more than memory. The past ripples out from where you rest, a vital liquid echo. From here, I understand brightly what it means to be a prophet and a poet. It means to be a singer of needed illusions and forgotten woe. And for J.R. Mellin, whose skills are rusty and wits not what they once were, he will stand before his blue God, his arms raised and his eyes aglow.
Wow, that's an incredible piece of poetry. And I would love for you, in just starting to talk about this, tell us what a ghazal is and why this is what came to you, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. So ghazal is originally an Arabic form of poetry. It's from the 7th century, I double checked. And originally they were poems of love and loss and longing, originally romantic love, and then eventually religious longing as well, and they sort of spread throughout Arabia and into Persia, and then east into India, and in the 20th century found their way into English. So, like a lot of poems borrowed from other languages, you can't really create a ghazal in English, but you can take some of those elements and add your own sort of cultural influence into it. So the couplets are a big thing. It's always done in couplets.
Okay.
The rhyme scheme has that sort of AA, BA, CA, so the last word in each couplet always rhymes with all the other last words. And there's always that naming in the final couplet where the poet brings themselves into it. And there's so many things that can be done with that. But to me, I always love that. The poet's presence is always felt, so why not admit it? So I realized as I started to write a poem to this, which I knew I was going to, the moment I saw it, I was aware that once I'd gotten a couple in, I was like, oh, I'm writing in couplets. I wonder why that is.
Interesting.
And then I noticed I had already done that rhyme scheme without intending to.
No
And I said, this is a ghazal. The title of the piece, Ararat, it's a real mountain in Turkey, but in the biblical story, it's where Noah's Ark rested after the waters started to disappear. So to me, I was like, okay, that has that religious echo to it, but also that's supposed to be the height of the world, and here it is submerged, in Submarine, and that contradiction to me said, write to me.
And a saving world, because of what was in the ark. That's amazing.
Yeah, that first line, that was the line when I read the title, because I just came to the piece before the labels were up. I wasn't aware of any of the titles. I was so taken aback. And then as soon as I saw that, I said, Hail, font of life. This is the place where everything else will spring from.
Love it.
And, from a scientific perspective, from that genre of storytelling, that did happen at the bottom of the ocean. That's where it all began. So
that's great. There's some archaic language, cubits, 9, which, is just so wonderful. The cubits, certainly from the Bible. And I love this line, I am period, hello, which is so Aramaic.
Yes.
Because in the Aramaic, it's like, I am Kim, I am Jason. There's something about putting your own presence into the room that is so powerful, and it's something like that J.R. Mellin at the end, putting that into the poem, which is really wonderful.
Yeah, it definitely was fun to sort of slip in and out of that biblical register. But you probably can't see it there in the video, but you'll be able to see it here. There is just a dot of pink, a single, you can see it here, Kim.
Yes.
And it's so arresting in this giant field to see the tiniest little piece making itself aware. So I wanted to honor the smallest thing I could find on it inside of the poem itself.
I love that.
Yeah.
I also love the questions. So just tell me about that, because they're so wonderful in a poem. And do you write them to be responded to, or just to sort of pose that netherworld of, what could be?
I want the piece itself to respond to it. And because of that essential contradiction that we were talking about, I really had questions for the piece that it could not answer, but I wanted to give it some agency in all of this. So, when I ask about hiding under the denim and canvas, Richard is a painter, but he's also a sculptor and a mixed media artist, and he does so much. There's so much depth and texture inside each of these pieces. And a lot of people feel like I should be able to come to a piece of art or a poem and just know all the answers. And no, I have more questions than answers.
Yes,
So.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And one of the other lines I love, right in the middle, now no single piece of you can answer for the whole. Tell me about that, because that is so arresting for me.
So it came in two different directions. One was just, again, part of that search when I first saw that little pink dot, I was like, what else am I missing? And there's so much thick glues, fibers, like I said, strips of canvas. You can see what looked like, the seams of denim jeans everywhere. And, as part of the technical side of Purple Figs, I try to take like a close-up that suggests the whole, and I couldn't do it. So you saw a little piece, you saw this right here, but I had so many pictures all over, and none of it let me apprehend the whole. And there's, this idea with the totality of God that you cannot apprehend him because everything is a part of it. So to me, when I said at the end, like, I will stand before a blue God, I was standing before this existence that I can never truly apprehend, only channel through the means that I have.
And I'm thinking we can't really understand Ararat either, because there's just something about that story that is, as so many stories of the Bible are, like, how could that physically, realistically be possible? Mm-hmm. But then you realize it's a story, and where does it take you? What does it mean?
Yeah, where does it take you? And that's maybe the best way to describe my experience with Richard's piece here. It took me.
Yes.
I came up to it. I looked at it from the second floor as I would go to my office. I would pass by. I took a moment at my wedding to say, oh my goodness, I can't believe I have art like this here. But what more could I ask for? And I know you, Kim, feel the same way. I could have done it with so many of the pieces here in this exhibit. It is a tremendous, tremendous exhibit. We're so grateful to have it here for a few more weeks. Definitely don't want to miss this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here until the 27th, the gallery is open many hours and is always free. So check the website for that. Anything else you want to say in parting? This was a spectacular poem. I think I told you earlier, one of your best. It just took me right from the, oh, hail. I was in. But
thank you. It was, I always enjoy writing poems for Purple Figs, but this had a deep personal pleasure to me that I was so grateful for. And if you want to know more about it, please come see the exhibit, knock on my door upstairs, and I'll come and we'll talk about Ararat together.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time on Purple Figs.
Bye now.